I'm quitting Genshin Impact, and you should too. I'm not saying that because I hate the game, but because the game hates me. And you. I have never seen a game that doesn't want to improve or be fun more than this game does. For your reference, I have multiple games under my belt to compare Genshin to, and my experience in Genshin is that I have played every Archon quest, most of the story quests, all the hangouts, gotten to floor 12 in the Spiral Abyss, reached the highest reputation level in most of the regions, and have spent plenty of hours exploring the open world. In other words, I think I have enough experience in Genshin to criticize it, and have enough experience in other games to explain why the flaws in Genshin are so bad. So, I'm gonna do that. Presentation! Before I talk about the actual gameplay, I want to talk about the community's biggest criticism about the game. The fact that you can't skip cutscenes.
Genshin's cutscene presentation is shockingly bad. It was outdated the year it was released, and has not improved at all in the 6 years since. It's actually on par with Sonic Adventure from 1998. And I do mean that. The in-game cutscenes have the character models do the same stock animations, the mouth animations are not synced to match with the English dialogue, or any language that isn't Chinese, they are unskippable, and every once in a while you will get a pre-rendered cutscene that is way better animated than anything else in the game. The thing with Sonic Adventure from 1998 is that it's from 1998, and the bad cutscenes are more of a sign of its age. Genshin came out in 2020, and should be judged like the modern game that it is. And for a modern game, these cutscenes suck, and the fact that I can make this comparison at all is proof of this. Even more baffling is that, like I mentioned earlier, you can't skip these. You have to look at these boring, poorly animated cutscenes for like 10,000 years because the cutscene to gameplay ratio in Genshin's main story quests is like 99% cutscene and 1% gameplay. The vast majority of games since 2010 have skippable cutscenes, so this is a reasonable complaint. Also, bit of a reminder that even heavily story-focused games like Metal Gear Solid 1 through 5 allow you to skip cutscenes, so what the hell is Genshin's excuse? Even worse is that the game is live service, and the quality has not increased whatsoever. To this day, Genshin's cutscenes are so bad that they are beaten in terms of quality by games from 2001, which are a quarter of a century old now. Games like Halo 1, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sonic Adventure 2, and Mega Man X6, despite not having the best cutscene direction, are still vastly more appealing to look at than Genshin's cutscenes have, and ever will be to look at. You can also skip the cutscenes in all of these games, by the way. Even other gacha games have skip buttons, so there really is just no excuse. Like what? Can the billion-dollar company not hire more animators to help spruce up the cutscenes? Or get one of the devs to add a skip button? Like, there are so many ways I can criticize the bad cutscenes. We could actually be here all day, so I should just move on. One more thing before I get to the gameplay. Genshin's size. You know Breath of the Wild. You know how it has a big open world with tons of stuff to do in it? And is only like 14.4 gigabytes? Well, as of making this video, Genshin is 174.8 gigabytes on console. Now, to be fair, Teyvat is a bigger map than Hyrule is, but even if Genshin's map was like 5 times the size of Breath of the Wild's, it should only be like 72 gigabytes, a full 102.8 less than what it is now. So keep in mind that not only is this game going to drain your life, as I'll get into in a second, but it also wastes your precious space on your hard drive. Okay, let's actually talk about the gameplay now.
This section really hurts to write because I can see there is a good game buried deep down in here somewhere. The actual gameplay of Genshin is like this. You build a team with a maximum of 4 characters. Each character has an element, those being Animo, Geo, Electro, Dendro, Hydro, Pyro, and Cryo, and a weapon type, those being Sword, Claymore, Spear, Catalyst, and Bow. Each character has the same basic controls, i.e. they have a normal, charged, and plunge attack, can sprint, use their character-specific elemental skill and burst, climb walls like in Breath of the Wild, and glide like in Breath of the Wild. Where each character differs is that their normal and charged attack depend on their weapon, and their character-specific elemental skill and burst will obviously inflict that character's element. So a pyro character will set things on fire, or an electro character will electrocute things, and mixing different elements gives you different reactions that do more damage to enemies. With the general description I just gave you of the gameplay, you might be wondering what the problems are. I mean, on paper it sounds pretty fun. Well, it's how you get characters and upgrade them where Genshin falls apart. Genshin is a gacha game, so that means using in-game currency, i.e. Primo Gems, Antiquated Fate, and Intertwined Fate, to pull on a character's banner for a chance to get them. There are 2 limited time banners with a limited time 5-star character, and 3 4-star characters, and a standard banner that's always available. The limited 5-star character banners are the main attraction, though. By default, you have a pretty high chance of just not getting the character. It takes 90 pulls for the game to guarantee that you get a 5-star character on that banner. Now, to be fair, after like 70 pulls, your chances of getting the character do go up. Unfortunately, the 5-star character you pulled might not be the 5-star character you want, since there is a 50-50 chance the game gives you a different character than the one you wanted. And your chances for pulling a 5-star character go back to what they were originally. Because of this, it takes 180 pulls for you to get a 100% chance to receive the character you are pulling for. That's just for 5 stars. There's absolutely no guarantee for the 4 stars on the banner, so if you want one of them, you just have to hope you get one while you are pulling. But wait, that's not all. Each 5-star character has a 5-star weapon that they don't come with. You have to pull on a separate weapon banner that works pretty similar to the regular limited banner, only this time you are guaranteed to get the weapon at 160 pulls. That means, worst case scenario, you have to pull 340 times to get both the character and weapon you want. Now, this wouldn't be that big of a problem if there were an abundance of in-game currency. There isn't. While you can get Primo Gems, Antiquated, and Intertwined Fate through normal gameplay, you really won't get that much. You get 1 Antiquated Fate for every other Ascension level one of your characters hits, get 1 Intertwined Fate per Archon quest completed, or can buy either for 160 Primo Gems, which you get for almost anything. Yeah, that's right, you only get 1 Intertwined Fate for looking at this for hours of your life per quest. Now, let's talk about Primo Gems. You get Primo Gems for pretty much anything, from opening chests to doing quests and completing achievements. For achievements, you get like 5 or 10 Primos. For doing quests, you don't get that much, and the amount you get varies. The most Primo Gems you can get for doing quests is like 50 or 60, and you get no Primo Gems at the very least. And remember, folks, for the side quests, the presentation is just as bad, if not worse, than the main story quests, because there is no voice acting. Also, special mention to the R&R quest for being 11 hours of this. That quest is single-handedly responsible for my hatred for unskippable cutscenes. I'm serious, you may think you aren't the type of person to be bothered with it, but Genshin will make you that person. But I digress. Play the side quests for Primo Gems at your own risk. For chests, the amount also varies, but for the most common type of chests, you only get 0 to 2 Primo Gems per chest. Bit of a reminder that just to get a 100% guarantee for a 5-star character, you need 180 pulls, and 1 pull costs 160 Primo Gems. So multiply 160 by 180, and you will need 28,800 Primo Gems. Great googly moogly. So, you better get out there and find as many chests as possible, pal. Also, chests don't respawn, and the first 2 areas combined, Mondstadt and Liyue, have more chests than the Arkham games have Riddler trophies. And we're at like 7 regions now, so that number is way higher. Unfortunately, the Genshin devs didn't have the foresight the Arkham devs did. I.e., in every Arkham game, each area has its own Riddler trophy grid and marks each one you collected. The Genshin devs gave you no such thing, so you might just be wandering around looking for chests that don't exist, and you would be none the wiser. Yes, there is no way to view which chests you have and haven't gotten. Sure, zooming out will tell you what percent the local area has been explored, but that's really vague. How many chests are here? Who knows? If I'm 58% of the way there,
and there are 100 chests, then I found 58 chests. If there are 20 chests here, then I found like 12. See what I mean? This percentage tells me nothing. But wait, the hypothetical audience member says, don't you know you can just craft treasure compasses to help you find treasure? Yeah, I know. It's helpful, but it doesn't fix the underlying problem because 1, you have to go out of your way to make one. 2, the game doesn't tell you where some of the crafting materials even are, so that's even more time spent running around looking for crap. 3, you have to make one for every single region, because for some reason the Mondstadt one can't work in Fontaine. 4, it doesn't make finding treasure chests fun. It just makes treasure hunting go from running around aimlessly to just going to where the marker points you to. That's not it for ways to get Primo Gems, cause upgrading each region's Statue of the Seven gives you Primo Gems as well. Only problem is that you only get like 60 Primo Gems per level you upgrade, and what you use to upgrade the statues, that region's Oculus, are even worse to collect than chests are. Just like chests, there's no grid telling you which ones you have and haven't gotten. And unfortunately, you have to craft a new detector for that region every time you use one to find an Oculus. Why? Oh, I know why. It's because the devs really want you to use real-world money to buy poles. That's why this is so poorly designed. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Now, let's say you hypothetically get enough Primo Gems to get the character you want after 180 pulls, or are lucky enough to get them before you hit that. Well, they suck because you have to upgrade them, get them a good weapon, and then upgrade that, and then give them an artifact set that's good for them, and then upgrade that, and then upgrade all of their talents. And let me tell you, it takes a lot of time and resources to get one of these guys to max. This is because the higher levels of your character or equipment just guzzle down whatever resource you are using, and it takes real-world days to get new ones because of the resin system. In gacha games, there's usually some sort of resource that limits the amount you can do per day. Unlike other gacha games like Zenless or Precon, Genshin doesn't allow its version of this to overflow in case you haven't played for a couple of days. So, that means once per day, you have to go farm whatever you need, run out of resin, and then wait until the next day to farm more of whatever you need. Why? Actual games don't do this, and other gacha games have a better version of this system. And whatever you need ranges from experience to level up characters, ascension materials to ascend your characters so you can level them up more, material to ascend your weapons so you can level them up more, artifacts you need to boost your character stats, artifacts you don't need to level up the ones you do, and materials to upgrade your character's attacks. This takes forever for one character, let alone the 4 you have to have on your team. Now, keep everything I said in mind, from the gacha system to how annoying it is to get Primo Gems, to how long it takes to get your characters to their max level, because my next complaint makes them all like 1,000 times worse. Power creep. Oh no. So, the devs give new characters mechanics that make them do more damage than older characters, and design all the updates and new endgame around them. So your old characters are worse without the devs actually nerfing them. So, that means you can't just get any 5-star character, it has to be a newer one, so you can actually do damage to the newer enemies. So everything I complained about isn't something you have to deal with at the beginning of the game, it's something that plagues you throughout the entire thing. Does this sound like a fun game to you? Yeah, so I quit. The game isn't fun, and as Reggie Fils-Aimé once said, if it's not fun, why bother? Now, I know for sure I'm absolutely gonna get some stupid Genshin defenders in the comments going, actually, you quitting won't change the game. The game will only change if the Chinese fan base complains. And to that I say, oh, boo-hoo. What, are you gonna do nothing with your life because the sun will explode in like 1 billion years? Sure, I might not be able to change the developers' minds or improve the state of the game, but I can do one thing. I can at least make sure they don't succeed in actually wasting my time. They want you to feel helpless and to continue playing the game no matter how bad it gets. And I'm not going to let that happen to me because I deserve better. You deserve better. That's why I'm quitting, and you should too. I can think of several games that are more worthy of your time than primo farming in Genshin ever will be. And I can recommend you some if you want.
All of Bungie's Halo games.
The Batman Arkham games, Earthbound, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Sonic Generations, Doom 1, Doom 3, Metal Gear Solid 1 through 5, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Gears of War 1 through 3, Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas, Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D, any version of Majora's Mask, A Link to the Past, Breath of the Wild, I haven't played the rest of them, Mario 64, Sonic CD, Devil May Cry 1 and 3, Bioshock 1, any Lego game, any Resident Evil game that isn't 6, Mega Man X through X4, any Capcom fighting game that isn't Street Fighter V, any Metroid game after Metroid 2, Smash Ultimate, and Puyo Puyo Tetris. You should play any or all of these games instead of playing Genshin. Life is literally too short to spend dedicated to Genshin, so play literally anything else.